everybody, and welcome to a very special board gaming video. Today I'm actually not going to be talking about any board games in particular. Today instead I'm going to be talking about something that really can make or break any and every board game, and that is the people. That's right, we're going to be talking about the terrible gamers that you can interact with. As many of you know, I'm sure that you guys have played games if you watch these videos, or you're at least curious about it and have played any kind of game with other people at some point, right? The problem is that gamers can make a good game great, they can make a great game terrible, they can make a terrible game fun, or they can make a terrible game want you to jump out a window. It really just depends on your gaming group, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about my least favorite, I guess, sort of behaviors that you can have with gamers, be it board gaming, video gaming, anything along those lines. A lot of these really work for pretty much anything, but for my purposes I'm going to be focusing on board games. I'm going to be talking about some of the board games that I personally have seen people like these ruin, and some of them are a little bit more specific to certain genres of games, but it should be pretty interesting. I'm very anxious to hear what you all have to think, if there's some kind of behavior or activity that you particularly detest whenever you're playing games within a group. But these are my personal top 5 absolute worst gamers to ever play games with. With that, I hope that you enjoy this. This is only probably, I think, my second negative video, with the first one being my board game dislikes. So I think it'll be interesting to see how everything goes, but I'm very excited to do it. We'll go ahead and get started right off with my number 5. Alright, so see, it's your turn now, okay? So what you want to do is you want to take this guy right here, this is you, and you want to move over here so that you can do this, okay? Because that's what's going to help us out. Alright, what cards do you have? Do you have that card? Alright, we don't need those cards, okay? Keep your cards, we don't need them. So just move there. Yeah, good, okay? Now that you move there, make sure that you do this. Get rid of that guy. Let's see, do you need those cards? You need those cards. Okay, trade him one of those cards, and then, yeah, that'll be the end of your turn. Alright, so I know that you haven't played this before, so I'm going to help you out, alright? So it's your turn, and you've got a lot of options. And I'll tell you, you can go here, you can get cards, you can go here, you can get some more workers, you can go over here, you can get some random resources and stuff, but what you really need to do is you need to get buildings. Alright, so what you want to do, here, I got you. So you want to take your piece here and just stick it right there, and that means that you're going to be able to get a building next turn, and it's going to be awesome. Alright, so that's the end of your turn, and now you're up. So that is what I refer to as the alpha gamer, or what probably pretty much anybody else would refer to as the alpha gamer as well, where the idea is that, especially in cooperative games, you have one person who, they might be very experienced, they very well may know exactly what's going on, but the problem is they just take over the entire thing, and it sucks. It's so frustrating, because I'm sitting there, I'm trying to make decisions on my own of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, what I need to do, and what I'm capable of doing, and they're just saying, oh, no, all you need to do is this, and this. Okay, cool? I'm just like, well, do I get to, you know, play or think? Is that okay? Is that like a possibility? You know, something like that. And the reason that this is so low, the reason that this is number 5 on my list, is because more often than not, the alpha gamers always have good intentions. Now, especially when it comes to competitive games, you'll always have people who are saying, you know, well, you need to do this, and this, and the best way to do that is to start building up this particular resource, and then you're able to go here and do this, and this, etc., right? And again, it's done more often than not with the best of intentions, but the problem is, one of the great things that I love about games is the learning experience of totally screwing up the first couple of times. If I learn what doesn't work, then I'm not going to care nearly as much if you just tell me what does work. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. And not only that, but it makes me feel like I'm actually not even playing the stupid game. Instead, I'm just sitting there sort of like just a yes man who's just bending to your will, and it really frustrates me. Obviously, this is especially true if you're playing a new game that, that you and pretty much everybody else is unfamiliar with, and maybe 1 or 2 people aren't. But again, that's the whole point of playing. It's a lot of fun. To just try out, see what it is, see what happens, see what you like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't work. It's the whole point of playing these games. But again, especially for co-op games, the alpha gamer can be a huge burden and a very frustrating person with whom to play. Also, as another side note, especially if you've got players who are not familiar with board gaming. And again, it's from a place of compassion. They're trying to help out. They're trying to make you feel comfortable. But if you've got a brand new player who has no clue what's going on, even in something as basic as like Pandemic, and you've got somebody who says, well, you want to move here, 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 and here, and on the way you treat this, this, and this, trade this card, do this, do that, the other, and the person's just like, okay. And it's just not fun anymore. And it's like you're playing solo, but you've got other people at the table just watching you. It's very, very unpleasant. But that's more than enough ranting on one thing. So at number 5 is the alpha gamer.
Please just go already.
Right. And there we have number 4, the long-term decision maker, also known as the thinker, or potentially the min-maxer. You know, somebody like that, somebody who sees every single decision within a game as something that is absolutely, unequivocally vital to every phase of whatever their strategy is. Now, this is something, the reason why this is lower on the list, similarly to the alpha gamer, where alpha gamer comes from a place of compassion, the thinker, the really heavy long-term strategist, the really long-term decision maker, this comes from a place of strategy. And you know, you want to be able to think, you want to be able to sit there and really sort of make decisions based on what other people do. In so many games you can get screwed over with like, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then I'm going to do this, this, and this. Perfect. Awesome. And then all of the other players go and you're just like, I don't have a clue. And that happens, and I understand that. But when you are sitting at a table with somebody who's taking like 5 or 6 minutes to make a basic decision of, like, for example, in Race for the Galaxy, like just a basic card to put down and play. It's like, come on, this is meant to be fast. This is meant to go relatively quickly. You know, if you're playing something like Twilight Imperium or Eclipse or Twilight Struggle, you know, things like that, then okay, I can understand it a little bit more. But even then, there is a reasonable amount of time for you to make a decision. And it is not 5 minutes of game time. Because that ends up equating to, you know, adding in a half hour of a single game. You know, just depending on how long it is, obviously. And again, that's why this is lower on the list. Heavy strategy, I understand you want to make certain that you make the right decision, but at the same time, balance it out. Make certain that you're thinking about your fellow gamers, because they're there to play a game as well. And, you know, it could be potentially that they're all going like relatively quickly, and you're the only one thinking about it really, really hard. And it can just get exceedingly frustrating, especially when it gets down to the brass tacks of like, okay, well, I'll put this here. No, can't go there. What about over here? No, that's not worth it. Just do something. Just do something. And, I mean, it's a tough balance to strike, and it's something that you really need to talk about with your gaming group themselves to see what they're okay with. I mean, I really, this is one of the reasons I really like Munchkin, because it says in the instructions that you wait a reasonable amount of time, and I think it's quoted as like 3.7 seconds or something like that. It's stupid, it's Munchkin, but at the same time, sometimes I really feel that games need that. I feel like you need to have a clock on it. It can just get really, really frustrating waiting for somebody. But either way, that's my number 4, which is the long-term decision maker, the thinker, the min-maxer, the person who insists that every single decision be as perfect as it can be and doesn't care how long it takes to contemplate that. Very, 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 very unfortunate, very frustrating, and my number 4. Oh, dude, no. Dude, you can't do that. No, you can't play that card because you put the piece over there. No, dude, come on. There, in the rules addendum, it says quite clearly right here, section 6 of Appendix E, that you are not allowed to do that after you have placed the token there. Obviously, there's a reason to do it. No, you can't. No, you can't do it. Come on, dude. Come on now. Look, I mean, the wording is pretty clear. Dude, it's not ambiguous. Come on, no. Dude, come on. My game, my rules.
Must you?
Yes. The bylaws specifically state that no human may set foot in the League of Robots. If he has a human part, he's part human.
Bender, you've rigidly applied the law with no regard for its intent. Well done. You'll go far in this organization.
Ah, you're just getting to know Bender.
Number 3, something that we have all dealt with in some form or another, the rules lawyer. Just like with the alpha gamer and the long-term decision maker, this is something that can fit into a game and does make sense to a certain extent. You want to make certain that people are following the rules. You want to make certain that people aren't, just outright cheating and things like that. I'm not condoning that by any means. What I'm talking about is the people who are talking about the little minute wording, interpretations, and like the very small intricacies of the rules that really don't make a difference to gameplay. Now, sometimes they do make a difference to gameplay. For example, really determining when the order in which certain events occur. That's very important. But something along the lines of, like if two people are playing cards that have nothing to do with one another and they don't affect anything at the same time directly, then why not let them play them at the same time, and just stupid stuff like that. So the best example that I have is from my favorite game of all time, Cosmic Encounter. In one of the expansions for Cosmic Encounter, there are 2 powers that I was very excited to use, the Seeker and Chronos. The Seeker is a power that allows you to ask a yes or no question, and the opponent must answer the question and must abide by their answer. You can ask anything from, are you going to attack this planet? Are you going to play this specific type of card? Are you going to use your power? Anything and everything. But it's up to you as the player to really phrase the question to get information and to force some kind of an action. So it just so happened that I was playing as the Seeker and my opponent was playing as Chronos, right? Chronos' power is time travel, where they can force you to replay an encounter. Me, as the opponent, I would have to take my encounter card and set it aside, wouldn't be able to use it again. So the problem was, I want to make certain that if he's going to Chronos, I don't waste a high card. Because then it would be set aside, I wouldn't be able to take advantage of it. So what I ended up doing is I said, are you going to use your Chronos power during this encounter? And he said yes. And I was like, okay. I asked, are you going to use Chronos? He says yes. So that means that during the first encounter, when we're putting our cards down, I put down a low card. because he's going to get rid of it because he said he's going to time travel. We go, we flip it up, and I end up losing, but I'm like, doesn't matter, he's going to time travel, and then he doesn't time travel. And I'm like, what the fudge, dude? You said that you were going to time travel. And he said, well, yes, I am going to time travel, but not this turn. And I'm like, are you serious? This is the type of rules lawyering that I'm talking about. These stupid interpretations that first off make absolutely no sense in the context of the cards. Wherein, in this case, with the Seeker, if you've read it before, then it says, until the end of the encounter, this is a binding agreement. Why would I need to specify this encounter when it's explicitly stated that it's the encounter? And it's stupid verbal loopholes like that that I absolutely cannot stand, and that some people absolutely live for. And for me personally, it completely ruins any gaming experience. It really does. I cannot stand it. Again, obeying rules, doing things in the correct order, making certain people aren't cheating. Like, I'm okay with retconning, like, oh, I forgot to get my resource, I forgot to pick up this card, whatever it happens to be, little stuff like that, totally fine with. Rules lawyers, more often than not, will be like, oh, no, can't do that, it's too late, can't go back. I say, interpret the rules within a reasonable spectrum, all right? Remember, the spirit of the law versus the letter. If something like the Seeker and the Chronos is going on, that's clearly not the spirit of the rules. That's clearly not what was meant to happen. It's really simple. It's absolutely frustrating. But number 3, that means that you can only imagine what's coming up at number 2 and number 1. But with that, we're going to go right on ahead and go to those top 2 from my number 3, which was the Rules Lawyer. And oh yeah, boom in your face. Yeah, suck it, eat one. Oh, seriously? Again? Dude, I am never playing this game again. Dude, this sucks. I get screwed every single time. I hate this game. I'm never playing it again. No. 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 No, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You saw. I got screwed. Number 2. The infamous sore winner and sore loser. I guess it's sort of a showing off winner rather than a sore winner, but who cares? You understand my point. Some guy who wins and is just like, oh, in your face, boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Dude, good job, you won. Okay, who cares? It's still a board game. Did you have fun? Did we have a good time? Did the other people that you won against have a good time? Doesn't that matter more? Isn't that more important than whether or not you win? I mean, that's with these people, these are the types of people that you play with once and you never ever want to play with them again. At least with somebody like a rules lawyer or an alpha gamer or a thinker, you can adjust things. You can play different games. You can play less complex games so you don't have to worry about the rules lawyer. You can play games that, again, are less complex so you don't have to worry about a thinker. You can play games that are, more like Race for the Galaxy, where everybody is a lot more independent in their decision making. Get rid of an alpha gamer. But a sore winner or a sore loser never goes away. In any game, any time, any genre, doesn't matter. You can have a sore winner or a sore loser. Or both. And that's obviously even worse. But I cannot stand these people. I I never understood it. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm not nearly as competitive as some other people are, which is fine. I understand you having a competitive nature, but don't just go and rub it in everybody's faces. It's not fun. You play games to have a good time, and then you ruin it. Like, seriously, why do you do that? The sore loser is just there to basically bring everybody down and just, you know, complain like, oh, this sucks, I never win, I never do this, I can't believe that you stole that from me, I can't believe you did that. And then all you want to say is like, yeah, I can't believe that I followed the rules and did better than you. I can't believe that I made better strategic decisions than you on occasion and it ended up working out for me in the end. Heaven forbid. Like, it's okay. I mean, seriously, it is not that big of a deal. You don't have to freak out that much. And just like the sore winner, you don't have to go all ape crap. It's not necessary, and it's downright detrimental to the entire group. I don't know anybody who's okay with playing with people like that. Again, I understand competitiveness and I appreciate competitiveness because it really does help with some of this stuff. And it can make you a better gamer, but if you do it in that way, then I don't want to play with you, certainly. I can't imagine that many other people would either. Absolutely terrible. The sore winner and or the sore loser, my number 2. I don't know. Yo, man, what's up? No, I'm just playing a game. No, we just started. No, I don't think you can join. No, dude, next time. Next time, I got you next time. Yeah, we're learning right now, but I think we're full. I think... What did you say? What did I miss? What? Oh, it's my turn? What do I do? Oh, I cannot imagine anybody on this planet who can defend somebody who gets distracted during a board game. It's unbelievable. Yes, we all have smartphones. Yes, we all have friends that we want to say hi to. Yes, we can see that there's a lot of commotion and hustle and bustle going around during big game nights at stores and stuff like that. But if you are sitting down and playing a game with other people, especially if it's a new game that you don't know about, pay attention. Know what's going on. It's not that complicated. Just watch and listen. Read the rules. Listen to the people who have played before. If none of you have played before, that's all the more reason to pay attention. Why would you not? Why are you sitting there staring at your phone playing Angry Birds or whatever crap you're playing? It doesn't matter. You're sitting at a table playing a game with other humans. There's no reason to be on your phone. You shouldn't be texting. You shouldn't be calling people. You know, if you really, really need to get that call, if it's really that important, step away from the table so you don't disturb everybody. But pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to what you need to do. Watch what you need to do, because then you are going to get combined with number 4 and become one of those giant think-a-machines who can't make a decision in the game. And it's just because you're not paying attention to what's going on. So just pay attention to the game. Watch what's going on. They normally really don't take that long. I understand some games have downtime, but for crying out loud, pay attention to the game, right? That's it. Watch the other people so that you can see what you need to do. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't get it. I cannot stand it. It is... Literally, it's number 1 on my list. It is the most frustrating thing that I ever always see in board gaming, is that people who are, you know, they're shouting across the room to their friends, they're texting on their phones, they are calling people on the phone sitting at the table while somebody is explaining the rules. not only is it utterly rude and inconsiderate to everybody else, but we're going to have to go over everything again because you're not paying attention. It's just so stupid. If you don't want to play the game, then don't play the game. But don't sit down at the table and then not play. It's, okay, that's enough. That's good enough. But with that, that concludes the end of my top 5 least favorite people to play games with number 1 being the distracted gamer. So that's it for me, everybody. I think it's time for me to sign off. I hope that you enjoyed this little video on my personal least favorite gamers that you can run into at board game nights or whatever it happens to be. And again, these do certainly apply by and large to a lot of things like video gaming and stuff like that. I do apologize for the length of this video, but I really wanted to get into the whole thing and just show you guys what I'm talking about and what can happen, because it's just so frustrating. As I said at the very beginning, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Are these things that you completely dislike as well? Do you have other things that you dislike? Are these things that you're okay with? Are you okay with them in a certain context? Are you okay with them if it's a certain person? Are you like this? Like, for example, me, I know that I have a tendency to be an alpha gamer. I really do. You know, anybody who's watched my videos before, you know I love Pandemic. I love playing Pandemic with new people. I'm a scientist. I play Pandemic with my coworkers. They don't have any clue about board games. They know about science, but anybody who's played Pandemic knows that it's, you know, just about as close to science as, you know, some inappropriate metaphor that I can't think of right now. But the problem is that I know that I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, okay, well, you should do this, this, and this, and I know that I do that, and I really try not to. What about you guys? Do you have any of these things, or can you not resist looking at your phone? Like, what is it for you? What is your gaming vice that you just cannot get away from, right? I would love to see it in the comments. As always, any and all feedback in the comments below, whatever you want to say. I'm sorry again about the length, but I do really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it's one of these videos where it's just kind of like, wow, that's wow, you know, I understand that. I hope that you guys get where I'm coming from, and maybe agree with me, maybe not, doesn't really matter, but at least you understand what I mean. So with that, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Thank you again for watching my video of my top 5 least favorite gamers to play games with. I hope that you enjoyed it, and more importantly, I hope that it made you think a little bit about your own gaming experiences. As I mentioned throughout the video, please share your own experiences, your own thoughts and feelings on this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have stories about these particular types of gamers or some other gamer type that you really dislike? I want to hear it all. I'm very, very interested in it. With that, as always, I've got some playlists linked up at the top of the page so you can see some of my other work, and if you want to see more of me in the future, click on that big giant subscribe button. With that, thank you very much again for being here, and I'll see you next time.